Well, hey everybody, Martika here with Martika J Makes, and welcome to my channel. So this video today is the sewing edition of This or That. This was started by Julie from the Curated Curvy, and I was tagged by Rochelle from Rochelle.Handmade Designs and Zelda from Zelda Souls. So definitely be sure to check out their videos. I will put them in the description box so you can see all of theirs. So what this video is about is basically sewing preferences. We have different categories with different questions, and you are getting ready to learn about mine. So stay tuned. So the first category is sewing prep. And the first question is buying new versus stash busting. Me, it really depends because I am one, I have to bring myself in to not go and buy new because I would love to buy new every single time. But because I have so much fabric, especially here lately, I have really been busting into the fabric that I have at home and trying not to buy so much. But I have done, as you know, a couple of Hobby Lobby clearance fabric hauls and stuff like that I have added to my stash. But here lately, I have been stash busting, but I do love to buy new, so I guess we can say both. And then the second one is PDF patterns versus paper patterns. You guys, I spend most of my time cutting paper patterns, but I will be honest with you, I'm a little bit different. I love PDF patterns simply because I guess it's the artsy crafty side of me, I guess you could say. I love the taping together. I love the cutting out. Now, I do not love the having to store it away part because, you know, you have to get those tapes and things just right or it will start coming apart at the seams. But as far as that goes, the way that I like to do it, when I take my time out to tape all of those pieces together, trimming the edges down and all of that, I usually have a movie going, okay? So I have a little entertainment going while I'm doing, putting that PDF pattern together. So I guess that's the part that I love the most about it versus a paper pattern where I am usually struggling trying to grade out, grade in, and do all kind of stuff. So if I have my choice, it would be PDF patterns, but I do spend most of my time cutting paper patterns. And then the next question in this category is cutting versus tracing patterns. Cutting. I am not tracing a thing unless I know that I do not want to rebuy that pattern, or if it's say a pattern that I know is out of print and I'm going to have a hard time getting another one or something, you know, to that extent. But other than that, yeah, I am pretty much a cutting girl, just cut right onto that pattern. And then number 4 in this category is muslin versus just go for it. I'm usually a just go for it girl, and sometimes I regret that. However, when it comes to a muslin, it really depends on the type of garment I am making. If I'm making something like a blazer or something that's a fitted top or something like that, I will go ahead and take the time out to do a muslin because too many times I have failed and cut into my good fabric and could not wear what I was cutting into. Instead of going out and buying muslin, because it, depending on where you go, it could get a little pricey once you're buying so much of it, although it's not really that expensive. However, you can use other things as muslin. And as a matter of fact, I just picked this up. That's why I have it in this video. I started using sheets from my muslin sets, and I found this in a local store here. I found this sheet set. It's a twin sheet set for $6.99, you guys. And yeah, just on a whim, I found this, picked it up, and it's a nice, you know, little sheet set. I'll let you get a little peek at it. It's like this khaki colored, really nice and everything. But here's the kicker: I don't have a twin size bed in my house, so this wouldn't work for me for anything else anyway. So muslin is a great source for using sheets for. If you are wanting to get a little tip on that, Goodwill, thrift stores, Salvation Army, all those type of stores, go and pick up some sheets and use those as your muslin. And that's it for that category. The next category is fabric. The first question, in-store versus online shopping. You guys, I am an in-store shopper. I have ordered fabric online before. As a matter of fact, from Melanated Fabrics, Mimi G and Brittany J. Jones's website, and the fabric was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. And I will most likely, order some more. I'm not saying I will never order fabric online, but I do like to feel, touch, and really see my fabric in person, so that I can get a good visual of what I might want to make out of it. Also, I get hot easy. I need to feel that fabric to see if it's going to be something that's not going to allow my skin to breathe. So, I like in-store fabric shopping. Number 2, knits versus wovens. If y'all been watching me sometime, y'all know I'm a knit girl. I am a knit girl. I love sewing with knits. Knits are so forgiving, okay, when it comes to like mistakes, because of that stretch, in it. It is there. I don't know. It's just something about knits it's just satisfying on my sewing machine. Now, say like if you need to get that seam ripper out on a knit, you got a bit of a fight on your hand depending on the type of knit that you're using. But as far as like comfort level, I am totally comfortable sewing with knits. I love them. Yes, I sew with wovens too, but yeah, I'm gonna always go to a knit pattern if I can, because not only sewing them, I love wearing knits, you guys. They're just comfortable. So that's my go-to. Number 3, tumble dry versus hang to dry. We tumbling, y'all. Okay. We are tumbling. There are some things I will hang to dry or lay flat to dry. Like say if it's like a really drapey knit piece, like a knit sweater or something like that, something that may change its shape, then I will pretty much hang dry or flat dry that. But for the most part, you guys, I'm one of those people, even when I used to just shop for my clothes, if I could not wash it and dry it, I did not buy it. Okay. And I'm kind of the same when I make my clothes. Now, when I do dry, I am very careful about the temperature. Although I pre-wash all of my knits and any other fabric, but especially my knits, I wash them in hot water and dry them on the hottest temp so that they don't shrink anymore. But when I go to re-dry them after I have made the garment, I usually put it on a cooler setting to dry on. And I try not to over dry it, okay? If it's still a little damp, then I'll just lay it out and let it finish. Number 4, rotary cutter versus scissors. This one is a little tricky for me. I am both. I kid you not, I'm both. I have different pairs for both. For instance, I got them right here. These are my paper cutting scissors, okay? And I have the paper rubbed off, but I have paper only. And this is basically a note from my family, not for myself. But these are my paper scissors for when I'm, say, like cutting out a pattern. If I'm sitting back watching a movie and I just want to take my time, I'm not in a rush to cut it out, I will pick up my paper scissors. And then these are my fabric scissors. As you can say, they are fabric only. Again, note from my family. Then I have my rotary collection here, a little bit of a collection. These are my paper cutting rotary cutters. I use these for cutting out my patterns when I'm, quickly cutting them out, wanting to hurry up and make something with a whole bunch of pieces. I use these for cutting out the paper. And then I have 2 of my main rotary cutters for cutting out the fabric. So it just depends. It depends on the mood that I'm in when it comes. I will go either way. What's faster? The rotary cutters. They're a lot faster. But sometimes I just kind of want to relax and sew. So I'm not in so much of a rush all the time. And then the next category is clothing construction. Number 1, do I follow the pattern or do I wing it? You guys, I follow the pattern. Okay. The only time that I have really found myself winging it was when the instructions did not make sense. Okay. Or when I got hung up too long on something, then I will just wing it in that space. But as far as to look at a garment and say, oh yeah, I can put this together, unless I've made something like that over and over again, I kind of know where I'm going with it, then I will wing it. But for the most part, I am following those instructions because I am notorious for pulling out my seam ripper, and I don't like doing that. Number 2, bias tape versus facings. You guys, I don't care either one. It doesn't matter. Facings, I have no problem with as long as I can get them to stay down. With my knits, I don't have that problem at all. With wovens, sometimes there's more of an issue depending on the fabric that I'm working with. But I don't mind. Now, the finish of it, I do like the look of a facing on the inside versus bias tape. I will be honest there. Bias tape, usually like around the neckline or the armhole, I don't mind it. It's pretty easy, to put in there, but just as long as it finishes really, really clean, and don't flip out. That's my biggest fight, with a bias tape. But other than that, I don't care. Either one is totally fine with me. Number 3, serge seams versus French seams. Now, here's where I'm a little different too. I love me a French seam, y'all. I'm serious. I just don't always do them because my serger is always right next to me. So I usually find myself serging, but the look of that French seam is just gorgeous. Okay. I love the look of the French seam. I don't mind the process of the French seam at all, but it's not an option when I am working on shears, something or a thin fabric. I am not serging it. I am French seaming it and enclosing that whole casing in, and giving it a better look. So I don't mind that at all. I just think that the ending result is just so visually satisfying. It's amazing. Number 4, button fly versus zipper fly. This is something I'm still working on. I have not done a button fly, but I have done a zipper fly, and it did not, the fly itself did not come together once I put on the pants the way that I wanted them to. This was a while back. But this is something I'm getting ready to try again because I do want to perfect this button fly. I want to try that too. I personally have a feeling that I would probably like the button fly better, probably because I don't have to put a zipper in. But that one is kind of up in the air. I haven't done enough of them. One, I haven't done any. A zipper fly, I've only done one. I haven't done enough of them to judge on that. So, but I do, anything I'm not very good at, I want to get better at. So definitely doing that again. Number 5, button by hand versus machine sewn button. Baby, give me my button presser foot, okay? My button foot, whatever you call it. I love putting on my buttons with my machine. Now, if it's just 1 or 2 buttons, I'm sewing it by hand. But if we're talking about like a row of buttons for like a button down something, then yes, I am putting it on my machine and I am sewing that button on. It's so much faster to get that done. So yeah, I love the machine sewn button. Number 6, fusible versus sewn in interfacing. Give me the fusible any day. I've never done the sewn in interfacing. I don't want to do the sew in interfacing. It seems like just an extra step that I shouldn't have to take on my sewing machine when I can just take that iron and press and get that interfacing fused on directly to the fabric itself. So number 7, are you a snip as you go versus all at once? I am a snip as I go person. Threads hanging bug me. They really bug me. Threads hanging on other people bug me. Okay. I will, if I know someone, I will stop them and say, hey, you got a thread hanging. Let me get that. I do it as I go. If it's hanging while I'm sewing, it's something that it bothers me. It just keeps my attention and keeps me distracted. So I definitely snip as I go. Number 8, press as you go or versus all at once. I press as I go. I press every seam as I go. Definitely. Even if my fabric starts getting a little wrinkly, I press it as I go. It's just me. Okay. I like to see things looking really straight, really nice, really clean looking. And then the last category, you guys, is sewing habits. Am I a late night sewer or a daytime sewist? You guys, I'm more so of a daytime sewist. However, I have been known to sew late into the night, just depending. I sew in my bedroom. So my husband usually does go to bed earlier because he has to get up for work really, really early. So I usually don't sew late into the night, but say if he's up, I'm up, say it's the weekend or something like that, and I'm still sewing, I will sew up to a certain extent because, to be honest with you, your girl is not a nighttime person. I am a daytime girl. I'm an early morning girl. So I usually get the bulk of it done in the daytime when I am awake, alert, and I understand what I'm doing. Number 2, slow and steady versus frantic sewist. You guys, I am both. I am both. Slow and steady, I try for the most part. But depending on what it is, or if I'm sick of working on it or something like that, I become a frantic sewist. Okay, it just depends on what it is. And then the last one is number 3. Are you a tidy as you go or versus one big cleanup? I am a tidy as I go person. I can, when there's just things around, it distracts me. So I am definitely a tidy as I go. I'm throwing pieces of fabric in the trash as I'm cutting them off or cleaning up, wiping down and things like that as I go, just so that I can keep my focus on the actual project itself. So that is Martika's version of this or that, the sewing edition. Thank you, Julie, from the Curated Curvy. Thank you, Rochelle and Zelda, for tagging me in this this fun challenge. And by this video, I hope you've learned a little bit more about me. So thanks for watching, you guys, and I will see you in the next video. Have a great one. Bye-bye.